What happens if one of the funniest characters in gospel music makes a lighthearted remark about his wife, and she silences him with vocals that leave the audience stunned? When David Mann made light of Tamela Mann's attire, particularly her trousers, during a live performance, that is precisely what transpired. But rather than the laughter taking center stage, Tamela's powerful voice dominated the conversation. You won't believe how this lighthearted back and forth became one of their most memorable performances. I promise. And fans can't quit talking about it. David and Tamela Mann are one of the few couples in gospel entertainment that can win over audiences' hearts, renowned for both their undeniable chemistry and their extraordinary talent. The Manns have perfected the art of combining humor, family, music, and faith into one remarkable whole. However, a recent viral event made clear why these two continue to be one of the most adored power couples in gospel. David, who is always quick with his humor and lighthearted comments, couldn't help but make a lighthearted remark about Tamela's pants during a performance. The audience burst out laughing, but what followed was a total 180-degree turnaround. Rather than letting the joke overpower her, Tamela took center stage with vocals so strong and stunning that the jest was only the prelude to something truly remarkable. We'll go into great detail about this viral event in this video. Tamela's soul-shaking voice and David's witty banter got the audience cheering. We'll also get deeper into their relationship's deeper story, how they've managed to blend comedy and music for decades, and why fans believe this most recent footage captures their essence as a couple. And believe me, this goes beyond a single amusing remark or outstanding vocal performance. You'll see at the end of this analysis how David and Tamela Mann continue to represent the epitome of what it means to be performers who simultaneously inspire, uplift, and keep audiences laughing and applauding. You must first comprehend the formidable team of David and Tamela Mann in order to comprehend why this moment had fans chatting non-stop. It's not just humor or music that tells their tale. It tells the story of two individuals who developed their careers alongside one another, putting their faith and family at the core of everything they do. First up is David Mann. He is most known for being the witty Mr. Brown from Tyler Perry's comedies, plays, and films. His extravagant persona, complete with mismatched outfits and a golden heart, rose to fame. Beyond the laughs, though, David's actual nature reflects something more profound. A man who understands how to utilize comedy to make others laugh, connect, and heal. His superpower has always been comedy, which is one of the reasons why people adore him both on and off stage. Let's move on to Tamela Mann now. Tamela has a voice that is truly renowned. She started off singing with Kirk Franklin and the Family before going on to create hit gospel songs like Take Me to the King on her own. Millions have been impacted by her songs. Tama ministers in addition to singing. Her singing exudes strength, passion, and a message of faith that reverberates well beyond the confines of the church. Many people now refer to David and Tama as the first gospel entertainment couple. In a field where partnerships frequently break down under stress, they have been married for more than 30 years, raised children, and maintained a good marriage. They are unique, not only because of their respective skills, but also because of the way they enhance one another. David adds brightness and fun. Tama adds soul and depth. It's the balance that keeps viewers interested. For this reason, David's joke about Tamela's trousers went viral and wasn't just another amusing footage. It perfectly captured their essence. A couple that aren't scared to make fun of one another while still showcasing their unique talents. Fans receive more than simply amusement. The camaraderie and genuineness that have maintained the men at the top of their game for decades were brought back to them. This is the portion that adds even more intrigue to the tale. David and Tamela have perfected the skill of shining together, but many celebrity couples find it difficult to share the limelight. At one point, David has the audience in stitches from laughing. Then, with her voice, Tamela moves the whole room to tears. They are memorable because of their unceasing heart-to-heart humor, push and pull humor, and worship. This is where things become even more intriguing, though. This was more than just a humorous stage moment. It represented something greater for supporters. It was about how, regardless of the circumstances, Tamela's gift will always draw notice. Tamela's voice is the kind of gift that silences the room, even if David jokes, and that's just what transpired during this performance. Let's go on to the main body of the narrative. Social media was ablaze. followers were giggling, and Tamela Mann was once again praised by gospel fans worldwide. It took place during one of their most recent live shows. The audience was already excited, the stage was electrified, and David and Tama's well-known chemistry was evident. David seamlessly transitioned into his role as the show's comic center as usual. He engages the audience in a way that makes it seem more like you're sitting in his living room than a crowded performance hall. At this point, David focused on Tamela's evening attire. She attracted the attention of the crowd right away when she went out wearing a gorgeous pair of jeans. As anyone who has followed the man knows, David never lets anything go unpunished. As expected, he made a lighthearted remark that had the audience in laughs while pointing at Tamela's trousers. It wasn't mean. It wasn't malicious. It was a quintessential David dude, lovable and lighthearted, but with that sardonic sense of humor that makes you laugh out loud. In a way that only a spouse could get away with, he made fun of her trousers, and the crowd burst out laughing. There were flashing cameras. Individuals were pulling out their phones. You could see right away that this was going to be one of those man moments that people would never forget. However, this is when things took a surprising turn. Tama immediately approached the microphone, refusing to let David have the final laugh, and the entire atmosphere changed as soon as she opened her mouth. Her powerful gospel voice, for which she is renowned, filled the room. Each note flew with power, passion, and indisputable skill. The audience went from wildly laughing to getting up and cheering her on, as if she were saying, without using words, "You can laugh at my pants, but wait until you hear my gift." People were stirred rather than merely amused. They're the ideal combination since social media footage show admirers leaving comments like, "David had jokes, but Tamela stole the whole show. Her vocals are always the star of the night. Pants or no pants, she brings us to tears, and he makes us chuckle." This moment's brilliance lies in how well it encapsulated their dynamic. Together, Tamela and David brought their hearts and humor to a viral performance that made everyone remember why they are regarded as one of the most adored couples in gospel entertainment. Fans are enamored with the men for precisely this reason. Let's face it, the joke wasn't the only thing at stake. The way Tamela's voice rose over it was the point. It's almost like a heavenly reminder that nothing, not even her husband's humor, can outshine her gift. Here's the twist though. The act itself wasn't the only thing that went viral. It was also about what it meant in the culture of today. Fans began arguing online, asking questions such, was David being too playful? Or whether this is simply an example of how genuine partnerships flourish when there is support and humor. Others emphasized how uncommon it is to witness a couple in the public eye for decades while yet maintaining their happiness and genuineness. Their viewers, therefore, even if the event was lovely and funny, the discussion it started might have been even more significant. This brings us to the following chapter, how this brief onstage interaction was transformed into one of the year's most talked about gospel viral videos on the internet. The moment Tama's powerful vocals stunned the room after David made fun of her trousers didn't end when the concert lights went down. You could even say that it started the moment viewers took out their phones, recorded the conversation, and hurried to post it to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. The internet was ablaze with disputes, laughing, and praise in a matter of hours. What appeared to be a lighthearted conversation between a husband and wife swiftly went viral and took both entertainment and gospel feeds. TikTok reactions are the first. Almost immediately, brief videos of the event became viral on TikTok, garnering hundreds of thousands of views. When Tamela hit her notes, fans made reaction films in which they lip-synced to David's quips and then cut to themselves, acting as though they were fainting. With captions like, "When your husband plays, but God gave you that voice," some even made it into a mini trend. Jokes aside, Tamela, males are the way to go right now. Numerous R&B and gospel influencers uploaded the video with their own remarks. In two Twitter X conversations, one TikTok user commented, "This right here is why the mans are legends. They keep it real, they keep it funny, but above all, they keep it anointed." Meanwhile, the hashtags David Mann and Tamela Mann began to gain popularity in Hollywood and gospel circles on X, formerly Twitter. Couples like the Manns are evidence that marriage and ministry can flourish. People wrote things like, "David had me rolling about the pants, but Tamela reminded us why she's a living legend." This is black love, black joy, and black excellence wrapped up in one moment. Even well-known meme pages joined in, sharing screenshots of David pointing at Tamela's pants next to her singing a high note, along with comments that read, "When you clown me, but God says I'm still chosen." On Instagram, 3 people are in love. The video was uploaded by church pages, gospel musicians, and even non-religious entertainers. Fans frequently tagged gospel icons, Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams, asking them to comment on the current situation. The comments came pouring in. "I would still be moved if Tama sang the phone book. This is the aim of the connection. Love, ministry, and laughter. What they have, I want. God is at the center, along with joy and humor." With this particular moment serving as the grand climax, a number of fan accounts collected montages of Tama and David's most humorous and poignant onstage interactions throughout the years. 4 comments on YouTube. Naturally, there was an abundance of reaction videos on YouTube. Relationship advice, entertainment news, and gospel commentary channels were all taken into consideration. While some emphasized the value of humor in maintaining a healthy marriage, others concentrated on the more profound point that Tamela's gift always triumphs over all other considerations. "What you saw on that stage was more than entertainment," said one of the most widely shared commentary videos. The moment sparked broader conversations about faith, culture, and marriage in the public eye. People noted how uncommon it is to see a gospel couple not only survive but thrive in Hollywood, where so many relationships fail under pressure. "It was ministry. David reminded us to laugh. Tama reminded us of God's presence. Together, they reminded us why they're unstoppable." 5 cultural conversations. Others pointed out that Tama's response was symbolic, that no matter what distractions or criticisms come your way, your gift will always shine through. It wasn't just about pants. Fans interpreted the joke not as disrespect, but as evidence of the playful intimacy that sustains their marriage after decades together. A comedian re-shared the video, stating, "This is how you roast your spouse and still get dinner later." It was about grace, talent, and tenacity. 6 celebrities responded, including those who are not in the gospel community. Meanwhile, a well-known R&B singer commented beneath one of the videos saying, "Tamela Mann's vocals are unmatched. David is the goatee." You have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture to truly understand why this playful yet powerful moment with the pants joke and the soaring vocals struck such a chord. Period. Within a few days, the clip had been viewed millions of times across platforms, solidifying itself as one of the man's most iconic viral moments in recent years. This wasn't just a humorous, lighthearted clip, it was a reflection of everything the men stand for: endurance, partnership, faith, laughter, and an unwavering dedication to using their gifts to inspire others. It showcased Tamela and David Mann's decades-long journey and how they have carved out a unique place in entertainment, gospel, and culture. First, their modest beginnings. Tama and David Mann didn't become famous overnight. In fact, their story started in modest Texas. They were young, talented, and deeply committed to ministry and music. Tama's gift was always her voice, but it wasn't until she joined Kirk Franklin and the family that people started to notice her. David, on the other hand, was always known for his comedic timing and stage presence. Even in those days, people recognized that he had the rare ability to blend humor with heart, a gift that would eventually open doors not only in church circles, but also in Hollywood. She was the powerful soprano whose voice could shake a room, especially when she sang the unforgettable lead on Now Behold the Lamb. Her performance alone solidified her as a gospel force to be reckoned with. 2. The Tyler Perry era. The Manns' long-standing collaboration with Tyler Perry made them household names for many fans. Tamela played the iconic Cora Simmons, Brown's daughter, and David played the endearing and hilarious Mr. Brown, bringing millions of people joy. The Manns' performances in stage plays, films, and television shows allowed viewers to see them in action and, more importantly, together. They stood out in a way that few on-screen couples ever do because of their natural chemistry as performers and their real-life marriage. Their appearances in several Tyler Perry films and on shows like Meet the Browns exposed them to a general audience that may not have been interested in gospel music. But they were unable to resist the humor and authenticity they brought to every project. 3. Creating their own brand. The crucial thing is that the Manns did not only follow someone else's idea, they developed their own. Through their music projects, live tours, and TV program, they established a brand that is based on fun, family, and faith. With the release of her solo albums, Tamela's music career took off, and songs like Kirk Franklin's Take Me to the King became anthems in churches all over the world, reaching millions of listeners and breaking through into the mainstream, topping gospel charts and garnering her accolades, including the coveted Stellar and Dove Awards. 4. Why the pants joke hits deeper. With this background, let's go back to the viral pants moment. David, on the other hand, focused on comedy, acting, and even his own music. Together, they toured the nation, offering audiences a unique blend of worship, laughter, and marriage lessons. At first glance, it appears to be just David being David, a comedian making fun of his wife's attire. But when Tamela's voice silenced the audience, they were seeing decades of artistry, resiliency, and balance in action. Consider this. How many couples in the entertainment industry have survived the pressures of Hollywood, fame, and financial difficulties? Very few. It's not just a joke. It's a reminder that beneath the music and the laughter lies a partnership that has endured. Tamela's response, using her voice and her gift rather than snapping back, symbolizes the very foundation of their relationship. The man's bond has lasted over 35 years of marriage, which is why moments like this carry more weight. 5. Their impact on gospel culture. David and Tamela have accomplished something uncommon. They have made gospel accessible to mainstream audiences without compromising their faith. When obstacles or distractions arise, she draws on the gift God gave her, and David, in turn, makes room for her to shine while remaining true to himself as a comedian. Tamela's songs have reached people who are struggling with depression, grief, and hopelessness, reminding them of God's presence. David's comedy has provided relief, reminding audiences that laughter is also a form of healing. And Tyler Perry's productions and their music and comedy tours have brought gospel into places that might not have otherwise embraced it. 6. The reason why fans connected so strongly was that they are more than just entertainers like their cultural leaders, and together they have redefined what it means to be a gospel celebrity couple. They are living examples of how love, faith, and consistency can endure. Social media couldn't stop talking because they were witnessing a legacy, the result of years of love and hard work, and a couple who had persevered through hardships and come out stronger, still laughing, praising, and inspiring. It wasn't just about fashion or vocals, though. It was about what those two things stood for, that God can be exalted even while people laugh, and that perfection can be shown even when people are having fun.